What's going on, YouTube? Today I'll be beginning a new walkthrough series to help new players get through Eldenring, and I'll be showing you how to start the game with the most overpowered setup if you are starting out as the Astrologer class. If you aren't planning to be a Sorcerer or a Mage build, that's totally okay. This walkthrough will still show you how to get some much needed early game items and how to get level ups quickly. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Crimson Stellic, and my YouTube channel focuses on walkthroughs, guides, and let's plays. So if that's the kind of stuff you're into, consider subscribing and hitting the like button down below. But anyways, onto the walkthrough part of the let's play. So the first thing you're definitely going to want to do is select the Astrologer origin. What that'll do is give you the highest intelligence and mind stat spread against all the classes, so that'll give you the best leg up if you plan to do anything spells related. For your keepsake, it would be very good for you to choose the golden seed if this is your first play of the game. What that'll do is give you an extra crimson flask, and I'll show you what that is once we get started for that. But all this other stuff, I'm just gonna pick some stuff, and there we go. That's going to be my character for now. You can change your character later once we get to the round table hold. But yeah, I will see you after the cutscene. After getting through the chapter of anticipation, what we're going to want to do is get to the grace here and exhaust all of our dialogue with Vare. And then what we're going to do is get to the church character right over there in the background.
It's time you
so
set off,
that way we
think.
can speak with Kale and get his crafting kit. On our way over there, definitely do your best to avoid the tree sentinel knight, just to our right there. We will come back for him later. Once here, we're going to want to get the smithing stone shard right here on the anvil, and then speak with Kale.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods.
And what we're going to do now is head north to the Stormvale Gate Grace to get that checkpoint and to get the map for the area. So what we're going to want to do now is rest at this point of grace, and what that will do is Melina will appear and she will let us level up as well as give us Torrent. So for here, what I'm going to do is use one of my golden seeds to upgrade my Crimson Flask, and then I'm going to allocate most of my Crimson Flasks towards the blue side. The reason why that's really useful for a Sorcerer is we're going to be speccing a lot of our stats into mind and intelligence, and not so much health. So what this class mainly focuses on is damage output over toughness. So after getting the map and the whetstone from within the encampment just behind us there, the next thing that we're going to do is unlock the Urnia. Skip ahead a little bit so we can unlock some of the later game items. So what we're going to do is go ahead and follow that path and skip through Stormvale Castle. Right here, what we're going to do is hit this grace really quick and speak with Roderica. Roderica is very useful for leader. What she does is help us with leveling up our spirit sons.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought.
So the passageway to skip Stormvale Castle is going to be right here on this dirt path. You're just going to follow it all the way down, and then you'll reach the bridge. From there, you're just going to jump down and follow the rocks all the way to the Grace. So now that we made it to Liurnia of the Lakes, what we're going to do is touch the site of Grace right here. And afterwards, we're going to go talk to Thobs in the Church of Erith, just right over there. And then after we talk with Thobs, what we will do is fast travel back to the gatefront site of Grace. And then we will start to find Sorcerer Sling. So what we did from the gate front Grace was just follow the path south, and now what we're going to do is we're going to come off the path right over here, and then climb up here to these ruins up here. You're going to see a lot of poisonous plants. So from there, fire does work really good if you have any fire bombs to create. But other than that, you can also rush through this whole area. You don't have to fight them. But I do strongly recommend just glitstone peddling them all the way through. So now that all the plants are taken out, you can just use the glitstone arc to take care of all the remaining ones. And then we can collect all their materials and then head down into the boss fight arena. The boss for this area is going to be one of the pumpkin heads. He's not too hard. As long as you keep your distance, you should be fine. The important thing to remember is just to take it slow. We are pretty underleveled for this area, so that anytime you go up against a boss that you are underleveled for, it's always a good idea to just take it slow. So now that he's taken care of, what we can do is talk to Sorcerer Sling just behind the door there. We can't utilize her just yet because we need to acquire more sorcery scrolls for her to read, but it's good to have access to her now. And for me, I had Melina talk to me to take me to the Round Table Hold. So this might happen for you, might not. I do know this part is a little random.
If you had the metal
So now that we made it back from the Round Table Hold, what we'll do is stay on this road here and follow it all the way down as far east as we can to the Third Church America, where we'll be getting our Wondrous Physic and our next Sacred Tier. So now that we have our Flask of Wondrous Physic, the next item that we're going to get is the Meteorite Staff. So what that does for us is it gets us S-scaling right out the gate, and what S-scaling does is it optimizes our damage output for any spells or intelligence-based things that we do. So what we're going to do here is just head up this mountain here by scaling these Spirit Springs. And then we're going to head to this church to where we're going to get invaded. So unfortunately, we are definitely not strong enough to take on the invader. So we're probably just going to go there, get the checkpoint, and then just die. Once we respawn, we can re-get our runes, and then we can head forward towards the Meteorite Staff. So now that we got to this checkpoint, what we're going to do now is get our runes, and then we're going to head up to the road up here, and then we're going to follow it all the way down until we reach the Dragon Communion Church. There will be a lot of sites of grace that you can get along the way, and there is also a lot of fairly tough enemies, so I would recommend that you just haul ass all the way down. So after making it all the way to the Cathedral of the Dragon Communion, basically what we're going to do now is head here to grab the map for the area. And then once we grab the map for the area, we're going to head just right up here to get to the meteorite staff. So now that we have the meteorite staff, what we're going to start working on now is finding more memory stones. What memory stones do for us is they expand our spell slots and allow us to carry more spells on us in the field. So for right now, at this part in the game, what we're going to get are 4 of them. However, I will only be showing you 3 of them. And it's going to be getting the first one over at Ordy's Rise, the second one over at Tetsu's Rise, and the third one located in Lenny's Rise. So as I said, the first one will be at Ordy's Rise. So what you're going to do is follow this path pretty much all the way down and just stop before you get to the Morn Castle. So from here, what we're going to do is go ahead and hit this grace point as usual, and then we're going to hit the spirit spring just ahead of us. So now that we're here, what we're going to do is read this stone tablet just behind me here, and it's going to tell us to seek 3 wise beasts. It's going to be these 3 ghostly turtles. The first one is here. The second one is located just to the left of the stairs there. It's hidden behind some bushes. You usually can find some messages to help you find it if you're having trouble. Right there. And the third one's going to be right here in this water. It's going to be invisible. Once you hit all 3, you'll see that the seal is broken. You'll get the message for that. And then you can go in there, and at the top of the tower is going to be our very first memory stone. Now that we have that, what we're going to do now is actually head over to Caelid to get Lenny's Rise's memory stone. It should be a little up north above this area, but we're actually going to head here at the Rocky Balcony and then just kind of cut across there. We're pretty much going to go as far east as we possibly can go. On your way there, once you pass this minor tree, you're definitely going to want to take it upwards and get to the side of Grace that's up here. This area does have a main story quest item here, as well as it will give us a way to level up our character super fast. So once you make it to Lenny's Rise, what you're going to want to do is take this spirit spring right here and then land on top of the tower here. Once you land on top of the tower, you're going to want to drop off the side of the building facing southward. once you make it in here, it's the same roll as before. You're going to get to the top of the tower and get the next memory stone. So after we head to Liurnia of the Lakes, what we're going to do is hit this graveyard site just near the Church of Arena to grab the Academy scroll, because that has some really good spells for us later. Then afterwards we're going to press through into the swamplands and then head to this Lascar Ruins and take this portal. Once we head through there, we're going to be teleported to the Academy, and where we're going to go from there is right there and then right there. First spot being the rise that we need to get to the final memory stone that we can get, and then the second one being the map of the area. Be sure to get this Site of Grace, because this is a very important story mission, Site of Grace. And then to get down from here, we're just going to hop off the side. Not this side right here. Be sure you double jump, and then we're just going to be sprinting on through. And then once we get to the rise over here, we're going to hit this Site of Grace. And then similar puzzle as the other two rises, as we're going to find 3 ghostly turtles. The first one is going to be right over here, just kind of in its awkward spot. And then the second one is going to be hidden up in a tree. It's going to be up there pretty high. So if you're following this build and you're not a sorcerer, you're pretty much just going to have to craft like a crystal dart or something and throw it at it. But the final tortoise is going to be just beyond these rocks here, just off the cliff. Right here. So you can just plunging attack, or you can try and hit it. But yes, once you get that message there at the bottom, you're good to get the final memory. Once you get this third one, that's all that we can do for right now. The fourth one that I mentioned before was actually going to be at the maiden who sells you things. You can buy the fourth one for 3,000 runes. The next thing we're going to go take care of is collecting all of the golden seeds and sacred tears and Limgrave. So right there, if you want to rewind and pause the video, I went ahead and highlighted all of the remaining sacred tears and golden seeds here in Limgrave. So just because this video is getting pretty long, I'm going to go ahead and speed run the rest of this. So that pretty much covers Limgrave's golden seeds and sacred tears. While we are here, we do want to stop by this location here to grab a gold foul fingerfoot, and the last golden seed, if you haven't already gotten it, is actually going to be right over here. But other than that, that covers all of Limgrave. In Liurnia, there are 2 golden seeds here that we're going to get. The first one will be here in this Academy town, and the other one will be over here on this bridge. That one will be a little bit tricky because that one's multi-stepped, but I will show you how to get that nonetheless. The first thing that we'll end up doing is actually following the bridge all the way down in the water to head to a spirit spring. We'll pass one of the walking bell towers, and then that's how you'll know you're in the right area. But it should be just to the left of the bell tower. Once we get up there, what we'll do is hit the Site of Grace there, and then fast travel back to the Riot Lucaria gate. And then from there, we're actually going to grab the gate key, and then fast travel back to this location here, and then go through that door right there. The Site of Grace we're heading to is going to be right over here, and then we are going to get past the dragon just straight ahead there. You don't have to fight the dragon, but The item we need is right behind it, so we're just gonna grab and go. So now that we have all of our sacred tears and golden seeds, I'm going to go ahead and use all of those. After getting all of those, the next thing you're going to want to do is go to the Raya Lucaria crystal tunnel to get our first smithing bell. This place can be found in the woods just by that walking bell building. So what you do is go to that site of Great Spy there, jump down the spirit stream, and then go to the tunnel. If you look at it on the map, it's the really red spot on the map. But basically you're gonna go through here. The enemies here are vulnerable to magic, so you should have the leg up here. The final thing to keep in mind for this tunnel is to look out for shortcuts and be sure to unlock those when you get them, and to save your health and FP as best you can just before you go in for the final boss. The first half of that fight is pretty tough, but once you break the armor of the final boss, it becomes fairly easy. Again, just one of those fights where you just have to be really patient. The next thing we're going to start working on is getting spells that will totally get us through early game, mid game, and even the beginning parts of the late game. The first spell we're going to get is Rock Sling. You'll actually find it right near where you found the meteorite staff. It's going to be in the bottom of these ruins here. Now that we have that spell, what we're going to do is head to the gate over by the Raya Lucaria bridge. I totally missed that site of Grace, on the Grace Tunnel, but what we're going to want to do is get all the way up here, and then we're going to make our way towards the Church of Vows and speak with Muriel. We don't have enough runes to purchase any spells from him yet, but it's a good spot to have. He's located in this building right here.
You're tarnished, aren't you? I welcome you to the Church of Vows. I am Muriel, steward of this sacred chamber. My apologies for the unseemly state of affairs. Do you know?
The next set of spells we're going to get is located kind of in this random spot. It's right up here. It's going to be on the little spot to the right there. But we're going to head to the Bridge of Sacrifice here and then make our way that way. You'll find actually the Royal Academy scroll on a dead body that's up here. So you'll find it actually at that guy. Not on him, but on a dead body next to him. Now that that guy is dealt with, what we're going to do is take this scroll,
over to Sorcerer's Cellin, and then she can read the scroll and then give us the sorceries that are in them.
Young apprentice. First things first. Is that a scroll? Very well. I'll be sure to incorporate it into one of your lessons. Never lose that inquisitive.
You can get any spells that you want from her. I'm going to get Swift Glintstone Shard. Another really good one is the Heavy, or the Great Glintstone Shard. What that one is it's a much stronger damage type than Glintstone Pebble, as for where Swift Glintstone Shard is a faster coming out Glintstone Pebble. The next thing we're going to do is start working on weapons. We're going to actually go to that spot there to get an Uchigatana. That's going to be our first weapon that should hold us out for a good majority of the game, and it's a pretty flexible weapon to have in the beginning, but feel free to switch it out for whichever weapon you see fit. So about halfway between our destination and the site of grace that we teleported from is this place, the War Master's Shack. We won't explore it just yet, but you're definitely going to want to stop by here because it's going to have some materials that we're going to want to farm. So this is our first Catacomb Dungeon. You can fight the enemies in here, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to run through this whole place and grab the weapon. So now that we have the Uchigatana, and we can't wield it just yet, what we're going to do is actually start working on getting the Dectus Medallions, which is a main story questline item. And the first one we'll end up getting is going to be at Fort 4. So from here, any level ups we should do is going to be towards strength and dex. We're going to need 15 dex in order to wield the Uchi Katana, as well as 11 strength. Now from here, where we're going to go is actually back to the War Master Shack to farm some of root resin. We'll need that to make blood grease, which is something we will need a little bit later to get some XP. So the root resin is actually going to be just past this fence. If you go into the bushes here, you can find 3 deposits of them. And if you look on the right side of the screen, you can actually get them in varying quantities. What you're going to want to do is reset at the grace checkpoint and just do that for a little bit. I think I did that maybe for about 5-8 minutes. And I came up with about 45 of them. So, yeah. You're definitely going to want to stockpile this if you plan on using greases throughout the game. So the next place we're going to want to head to is Fort Height. Fort Height has the other half of the Dectus medallion that we have, and they also have blood roses, so you can make blood grease. To make blood grease, you need the recipe, which is also here, but also you need the root resin and blood roses. So as long as you have those 2 items, you can farm as much as you want, plus it has a golden seed. So after we've created our blood roses, what we're going to do is actually head to the Third Church America here, and then there's a teleporter that's actually hidden into the bushes, just right over here. What this will do is teleport us to the Bestial Sanctum, and we can use that place to farm a little bit of XP, just so that way we can meet the requirements needed to use the Uchi Katana. So the reason why the Uchi Katana is so important is because it has an inner bleed effect, which doubles when we use blood grease. Note that this gargoyle won't attack you as long as you don't attack it. If you do attack the gargoyle, Garok, the guy that's inside there, will actually become hostile towards you. So what we're going to be farming is actually these little militiamen over here. So don't let their size fool you. They're really strong, especially at this level that you're at. If they hit you, it will hurt. But the thing is, if you kill them, as you can see, which isn't that hard, they drop about almost 1100 XP. So from that, we're just going to get our last few levels, just so that way we can wield the Uchi Katana. And be sure you pick up the golden seed right there. So now that we have everything that we need, we're going to head to Fort Faroff, do our final level up, and get some big XP. So where you're going to want to approach is right at his leg right here. You're going to want to be sure you're two-handing the katana, and go ahead and equip your gold pickle foul foot and your blood grease. And if you picked any up, go ahead and grab that dragon wound grease. Well, our goal here is to bleed him. As you can see with damage, we can't really do too much against him. But when we bleed, we get that 13k drop right there. So that's what we're hoping for. We're just going to keep swinging all the way until he's just about dead. When you get to about this stage, what you can do is use your gold pickled outfit, so that way when he dies, you get bonus XP. A lot more than you get from just normally killing. As you can see from right there, we went from 600 runes all the way up to almost 100,000. Now that that's done, that concludes our overpowered setup. From here, what we're going to do is level up at the Site of Grace and put most, if not all, of our runes into intelligence to increase our damage output. And we're going to begin the game. So, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button if you got something from this video. And consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. And it lets you know whenever I post anything new. But from here, I'm going to go ahead and start the Let's Play. If you recall, this guide is the part 0. For just kind of getting everything we need to do an overpowered run, or more of like a cinematic run of the game. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.